Welcome back to Sunrise Daily, where we focus now on the electricity supply situation in the country. We know, some of the headlines saying businesses are grounded as a result of this one. Well, joined this morning by Comrade Joe Ajaero, who is the Secretary General, Electricity Workers Union. He's also leading his faction of the NLC. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you.
Well, the big question many ask, why is your union plunging Nigeria into darkness?
Well, I'm not sure we plunged Nigeria into darkness, but we protested in some areas. Of course, you know, when we are protesting, we are not supposed to work. And that protest might have affected power supply.
Which areas are you protesting?
Yeah, we protested in Lagos as it affects a big power station, you know, an anti-union organization, and Ikeja Electricity. Ikeja sacked about 400 workers at its stretch. And in the last 2 years, the power sector alone have sacked over 20,000 workers.
Oh, is it 400 or 250 in Ikeja?
It's about 400. They are saying 250. You know, so of course it was shrouded in secrecy. So the issue of whether it's 100 or 10 or whatever is not even known. They have not made it public.
Is that not a private enterprise now?
Why is the activities affecting you and I? If it's private, they should have been exclusive to them. It's a public company. Government still retains 40% in that company. They render essential services. They render social services. So what they do can be in their bedroom. It has to be subjected to public.
So what were the reasons given for those that were asked to leave?
Well, they told us they are strategizing. That's the reason, and that they conducted a test. You know, and then maybe those people were not performing. In short, they called it assessment. And we told them that assessment is an annual thing. Appraisal, evaluation. It was after appraisal, maybe people are promoted. Those not doing well are either demoted or left at their grade. Appraisal is not for the purpose of termination.
I would like to get things straight. If you say some people are underperforming and you ask them to leave, what's wrong in that? Because everything is about service delivery, and if I know I have someone in my firm who's not making sure that we give that better service to the people,
is the test,
must I keep that
is
person?
the test valid? Can you subject it to a transparent process? What was the method used? Who was evaluating who? If there is no power supply, maybe in Ijesha, do you evaluate the work at this marketer there, whom you gave a target of maybe 10 million? Because the people will not pay. If the transformer in Orile has not worked, what is the basis for assessing the marketer there if there is no light? So it has to be made open while you assess him, or you expect him to use his blood to give them light and meet your target. So the basis for assessment should be known to people. And you can't even sack more than 10 workers in Nigeria without discussing with the union. The law is there. Or you want to declare redundant. Then 200 and something people are inefficient overnight. So we have to balance up these issues. Maybe when you are attacked, you should stop tariff increase. The best way of saving costs is to sack the workers further. It doesn't go that way.
Well, does that then mean that the union is determining how or when and the amount of people that can be sacked by the discos?
The union doesn't determine. The process of disengagement is usually guided by the condition of service. You commit an offense, you are queried, you know, you reply, an ad hoc is set up, it tries you, you defend yourself, either you are relieved or you are suspended or whatever. There is a process. It's not you wake up one morning, you say you are hereby terminated, or you say you conducted an assessment, you invited a staff, you ask him, what are the jobs you do? You know, how old are you? After smiling with him, you say you have assessed him. Is it a written assessment?
I don't get this, because you know, when you ask questions, because the good thing you hear, you can break it down for us. If you're the CEO of a firm and you have some professional and expert knowledge about what service you deliver, and you call your staff member, can't you assess by way of even questioning that member of staff?
And that's a total assessment?
we're not talking about totality. Are you saying you can't know for sure if I'm good at what I say, if I'm proficient at what I say I am, when you talk to me as an expert?
Is that an employment assessment? That same person you assess to employ him, and he's working with you, and he's having declining productivity, as you may quote, and part of your assignment is to retrain, to upskill, to retool, and you have not performed those functions.
Come on, don't forget that we have new managers now.
Yeah.
If I'm not part of those who hired you, and I've come to take all of those, inherited some of these people, and I just realized that they can't provide the kind of service.
Your judgment may be subjective if it is me and you, because if you have a company policy of sacking 3,000 people or 300 people, you must achieve it. You know, your target is that 300 people must leave. It's not based on performance. So I want you to get this. But this, if it is a process, you know, this is the way of assessing people. Nobody will cry over it.
You just told us that they were assessed. I think maybe oral.
I gave you as an example. Maybe I chat with you. You call it assessment. It will be better if maybe 2 or 3 people chat with me, you know, and they should be able to assess. But if I have my mindset that I must remove 200 people, you know, I will remove them.
What is wrong in the union seeking redress in the law courts?
No.
If you say the process was abused?
Well, I think the management have used their own power. Don't miss this. The union has the power, right to use their own power. Now, anybody that feels that the power is not working, that's a power relation in industrial relations. You know, if you feel that your own power is not working well, you seek redress. You know, the manager has the right to maybe lock door and say no workers should come in. The workers can go in lock door. The management will not enter. So depending. So if they know tomorrow that when they sack 200 people, the union will react, they will reconsider it and consult. Because this aspect of consultation, and I want you to bring in labor ministry officials, they will tell you that you don't sack like that without consulting with your critical stakeholders. Because this is an employment relationship between employer and employee. No one person has the right to take unilateral action, and when you take it, it means reaction, and that's what you are seeing.
But what would you say to those who say that, look, this is the same kind of attitude that they saw when it was NEPA and Pt.1 that the workers are bringing into discourse now, wanting to frustrate their entire efforts?
What are the attitudes?
Going on strike just like this?
If it is strike, when you have a bad manager, you see more strikes in such situations. Let me tell you this history of even the private sector in the electricity industry. NESCO is in Jos. It's a private company that generates electricity. Since 1929, we have not closed their gate for once. Why are they there? What is happening? Their salary is even less than what is happening in the PSN, OPSN, and the current. So because they have a good human relations and industrial relations practice, they are not a rich organization. So if you see people that have this mentality, who have the right to hire and fire, when we drive on the road, everybody stays. And you meet a worker every day. That's what they are doing in the Keja. You say, I will sack you. It's like a morning prayer. I will sack you and go to my house and rest without losing sleep. Oh, no, you don't intimidate people.
But some also say that the discourse released a statement saying, look, what we're doing is we're automating. And in this kind of industry, this has got to happen. And so certainly jobs will be lost.
Why can't you be open? Why can't you be open? Because
so if they tell you they're automating, would they call off the strike?
This is a law in Nigeria that when you want people to leave, 10, 20 people, you discuss with their reps. And this is a simple thing. And by the time you give all this reason, automating this and that, now we'll see reasons to tell you, okay, you're automating, you know, it's taking 20 people, why don't you retrain these people, you know, to be maybe compliant? Those issues, when it couldn't work, it goes ahead. No, you know, respond. It's happening every day in Nigeria.
So how come, I'm just wondering, I mean, in this entire privatization process, a lot of people were saying, are you saying that the companies inherited the assets, inherited the workers, and inherited the unions as well? Is that what happened?
How can the companies inherit union? Is union a branch of the company? I have a license to unionize the workers. They have a license to generate electricity. We work together in a plant. My own concern...
I'm sorry, where did your license come from?
Yeah, from the Register of Trade Unions. Every union is licensed to go into a place without any hindrance. So my concern is
whether the management agrees or not.
No, he doesn't have choice. He has his own jurisdiction. You have your own jurisdiction. So I'm not there at his leisure. Unless you want
he pays. He pays.
No, he can pay the workers, but I unionize the workers. I negotiate that pay, or else he will not pay. If I'm not there, he will not even pay salary.
So, in other words, you don't even work within the electricity
sector? No, I don't work for them. The unions you are seeing, if you hire professionals, and then there are elected people, is in twofold. You elect the elected officers, the officers at the secretariat, who are professionals. So it's in two ways. You have the president.
Why can't I sack someone who is inefficient so that I can give? Because it's about profit making.
You have to prove inefficiency.
It's about profit making.
Inefficiency is not dictated by what you said. You prove that the person is inefficient, and I must see it. You wake up, you say these people, the whole Nigeria is inefficient. You sack them.
No one has said the whole Nigeria is inefficient.
So why 200 people inefficient?
Is that impossible?
From an organization of how many people?
If you take a poll and most Nigerians, they tell you the kind of service they've always had. They've always had with some of the bulk of persons that have been people that have taken over. So it's because of some of these inefficient ones that are still in the system.
How are Nigerians assessing inefficiency?
Because of service delivered.
Now, if you are delivering service of 3,000 megawatts, and you deliver 3,000 megawatts, and it can't serve Lagos, is it the worker?
Have you also heard the argument that because it is improving, that is why your union is throwing spanner in the works?
What is improving? The power situation.